Well. I just testing the perimeter here to make sure we're safe and sound this morning. So it's gonna be one of them bar days here, y'all. So hang in there, okay? Uh, yay! Hey, yay! It's Tuesday, and that, my friends, and the others alike, is the extent of my poetic skills. You should be thankful. Feel free to let out a sigh of relief. Looking over the news outlets, more of the same murder, mayhem, and those are the stories these days that barely get a lot of mention, believe it or not. It's a midterm election year. Democrats and Republicans are scrambling, each trying to get more of their own kind in the House and Senate, as though, help me out if I'm wrong, that had ever made any difference for the common folks like you and me. And so it will be when this election cycle is over. I'm Rayford Brown, and this is Live and Local Real Talk.
And I'm Lee Barrels, sitting over here to his left.
Now home. It's lots of stuff going on. So y'all bear with us this morning. We'll sort of kind of maybe get through it.
A lot going on. Woke up to some news this morning too. National news.
Yeah, we got some national stuff. May as well jump on that real fast, like here.
All right.
Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, longtime civil rights leader, two-time Democratic presidential candidate and founder of the Rainbow Push Coalition, died early this morning at the age of 84.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing I heard this morning. I had turned around and was like, what? Anyway, the cause of death was not mentioned, but Jackson has suffered from multiple health problems in recent years. 2017, it was revealed he had Parkinson's disease. Mm-hmm. And he was also treated for a progressive supranuclear palsy, a rare degenerative disorder of the brain.
Yeah, there's and when we look around and we find people with various diseases, and some of them live with it forever and ever and ever, it seems like, and some of them it's in declining state, some go a little bit faster, and I don't know. It's a shame that we don't get our heads wrapped around all of this stuff. And maybe that $200 million that the state of North Carolina spent for the last year, the 11 grants that they gave to the film industry could have gone.
Oh, you're just hung up on that.
I am. That's just one thing. Just one. That's just 1 year for one line item on their budget. My money, $200 million.
But isn't that bringing in revenue to North Carolina?
I don't know. That's got employed. It helped employ 7,000 people. Now.
Right.
But if you divide that $200 million by that 7,000, that's just their salaries alone is $26,000 on the average per year.
Right.
Now, are the movies not making, or these? Do you not think those commercials that are being filmed make enough money to pay for themselves? You know the cost of doing that kind of work. Yes, they do.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
So, but sometimes you have to put money into something to bring money in. I wonder if that was
then if money's coming in, you should call that an investment, and you should be getting it back when the money starts coming in.
Oh, I agree 100%.
So yeah,
I agree.
I'm just going to be hard pressed for me not to want to change my mind.
I agree 100%. Exactly.
Okie dokie. All right. So
anyway,
let's where's the hand grenade? Let's pull the pin over there, and just in case.
I think I set it over by the windowsill because I was getting worried with it sitting on the desk over here.
Well, over there, it'll even spread really wild. Ooh, don't do that. Hot news from the Oslo County Commissioners last night.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no surprise, except apparently to a whole lot of you folks. County Manager David Smitherman is unemployed.
Yep.
Last week, he was informed, according to sources, that he should meet with the county attorney to work out a separation plan, and he was given until noon yesterday to present a signed plan. He did not. And at last night's commissioners' meeting, a motion was introduced by Commission Vice Chairman to terminate his contract. The vote to go with that was unanimous. 7 out of 7.
Mm-hmm.
7 out of 7 people who do not always agree with each other. Okay?
That's correct.
But all 7 agreed that he had to go. So, and then, of course, you posted it up on Facebook. Basically, what a motion was about, no commentary.
Word for
anything else,
word on the motion.
But then the comments started coming in.
Whoa, the
And-
comments.
Yeah, and folks, as we've tried to tell everybody who listens to us, and there apparently are a lot to do, you need to wait. As we've told you with things like the case out there in Tucson, when people get arrested or things are said or whatever happens, and instead of speculating, making allegations that, if you had to defend them in a court of law, you would be found guilty. Some of the claims that I saw last night, and those that were libelous to us, that could have put us in hot water, are no longer there.
Right. And I'm glad you went in there and did that.
We can't do that. I'm not going to risk having to pay out a lot of money for somebody if there's a suit based because of some of y'all.
Well, have you
if
ever
y'all
noticed?
got a Facebook page, obviously you do, because you were on Facebook. Then go post it on your own page.
Some of it, sometimes you post something and instant ugliness hits, instant negativity and ugliness. Do we know the reasons for the termination of his contract?
Well, maybe.
Well,
to a certain extent that we've had conversations with individuals for some period of time about issues.
Right.
This is nothing new. It did not pop up out of the clear blue.
No.
Okay. I'm honestly a little surprised it took as long as it did.
I think, well, first of all, let's start with the motion. The exact words of the motion. The Vice Chairman, Commissioner Robin Knapp, had made a motion earlier when they first started off to move something out of one agenda into another. So when they got to that, he stated, I'd like to make a motion. And the motion read, motion to terminate the employment agreement with David Smitherman for his failure to be willing to fulfill his duties as county manager and clerk of Onslow County. And I think by saying clerk, he means, my opinion, the county manager is basically a clerk.
Okay, here, let's just back up.
All right.
To the original contract, okay?
Yes.
During the discussions of the original written contract, as has been told to me by more than one county commissioner, he said during the negotiations, or whatever you want to call it, that he did not want anybody else in his office having direct access to the county commissioners. Here is what the county commissioners, here is the power they have over the county employees. 3 of them. 1, the county attorney, who's not an employee, but he's contracted.
That's
so
right.
they can fire that person at will as they so choose. The clerk to the board, which generally works in the county manager's office or out of the county manager's office. The clerk to the board, that's not clerk to the county manager. He's got plenty of those.
Right.
He's got the county commissioners have a clerk
their own clerk.
that works at the county manager's office, has access to all of that, also direct access to the county commissioners.
Correct.
Okay. He didn't want that. He demanded that person not exist, that they did not have that person. So in other words, in order to sign this contract with him, they met his demands. That was a mistake, and I'm sure that they all agree with that. I would assume that they all agree with it, but assuming, well, no, you know what, that'll get you. So why would anybody want to agree to a contract like that? I don't know. I
don't know what was in the original contract.
That was the contract. I don't care about what the contract said. Contract held his duties.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant
in order for him to sign that agreement, in his discussions, he would be acting as the clerk as well. Nobody else would have direct access to the county commissioners. Done. So that reduced their power. Right.
But
that reduced the county commissioner's power.
I do want to say, speaking with some people in the county administration, this was done for just cause.
Well,
now, we do not know what the reasons were, because it is a personnel matter. And those, they don't sit, I mean, they're not going to blast them out to the nation as to personal things like that. They can't.
They can't, but they can. If it becomes such an issue, a public issue, it can be then decided it is in the best interest of the county's people, the people, not the county commissioners, but the people of this county. They can, the county commissioners or a legal group can say, that's your reasons, your just cause, reasons for termination. And, terminate the contract is the same thing as firing somebody, all right? I've terminated some contracts in my life, and I fired them. It's doing so.
Well, if you terminate somebody's contract, you don't have a job, do you?
That's pretty much
because you have no contract.
Yeah, because you work under the conditions of a contract. So they terminated his contract, therefore you eliminated him from that job. So do all the words you want, wordsmiths. Go play with it, but the legal stuff is out there. There's
I think
clowns for it, and the county attorney was in this the entire time.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I saw last night, because like I told you, as soon as our story hit, what we posted, there was a lot of hate.
Oh, there's a lot of hate.
But let me just say this.
There are a lot of comments that were made too. I noticed that it was about time, yada, yada, yada. So,
like you sat in his office every day and know exactly what he did.
So we don't know. I don't know. I know what some of the county commissioners have said.
Oh, yes.
I know what some county employees have said.
Yes. But the thing about it is, Rayford, we don't know what the just cause was for. And people are now raising immoral, over the fact, they're automatically assuming, I guess they're all attorneys, they're automatically assuming that we're going to have to pay Mr. Smitherman for the remainder of his contract. Okay. If you're fired for just cause,
there is no separation pay.
Right.
Okay. Now, that ball will be in his court. If he decides to take the county to court,
that's correct,
to negotiate something else, he should have done that with the county manager or the county attorney, because he had that option at that time. But
that's
apparently
correct.
They did not come to terms, or he chose not to, or whatever happened. I don't know.
Right. Well, my understanding was that, he had till noon yesterday to submit a resignation. And it was later in the afternoon when he said, no, I've talked to my attorney and no.
So you can rest assured that he probably will take it to the courts at some point in time. Now, because he kind of did that same thing when he got fired up in Virginia just a couple of years earlier.
That's right.
And they had to end up paying him some money or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how much they did or if anything.
Let me just say this.
Okay.
Your contract is terminated. Therefore, you have no job. It does not mean that you're going to get paid for the remainder of that contract. Now, he can choose to take it to court and take the county to court. But then again, you're also running a risk of things coming out that caused the just cause for the termination of the contract.
In defense of whatever the county commissioners have done, you can rest assured that the county attorney will be asking said county commissioners what were the reasons, because when he goes to court, Jack, all bets are off.
First of all, you've got 7 commissioners that voted yes last night to terminate the contract.
Was there any discussion last night?
There was no discussion.
That was all done in executive session earlier.
And you have the county attorney who helps advise your commissioners. And I'm sure if the county attorney felt like, hey, we have no grounds for this, then it would be.
He would have told
to blame 1 or 2 commissioners for all this mess. It was 7 who hired them, 7 who terminated the contract. And you know what? We weren't there in the room. We don't know exactly what the just cause was. So people, you need to sit back, let this all play out, and stop making assumptions.
Okay. Now, salaries came up. Wait a minute. He's not worth $280,000 a year. Okay.
Are you?
Oh, I wish I am. I don't.
Are you?
I wish I was, but let's go into this just a little bit down, just a little bit.
Right.
His predecessor was a young lady, Sharon Griffin. Right?
Yes, we all liked
her
Sharon.
salary was about $246,000 a year.
Right.
Yeah. Smotherman had been here before. I don't remember.
It was
don't
an
know
interim in 2009.
What he was here, and I don't know what anything happened about that time because I wasn't. We didn't have a show. I didn't care, to be honest with you. It was, that was them. They were going to do what they want to do. If they wanted to consult me, they would have. And the only time they consulted me was come election time. Now, I always have the right to do what I want to do on my election day, and I will do that. But Smotherman's salary, according to this, now he's been here, I'm sure, built in raises during this period of time. He's at $280,000. He was. Griffin's salary before that was $246,000. Now, you look around the board, everybody's going, well, over in Cumberland County, over in Mecklenburg County, Charlotte, and Wake County, they don't get much more than that. No, well, they don't. But we don't compare ourselves to Wake County, Orange County, Mecklenburg County.
Absolutely
we compare
correct.
ourselves. We have a military community here. Our needs, we have to find somebody comparable.
Correct.
There's only one county in North Carolina that is comparable. That would be Cumberland. Did anybody ask what his salary was?
No,
I'm going to tell you. It's $298,000 a year, $2,000 less than Mecklenburg County. Huh?
Well, how's that for your tax money?
Okay.
298. Wow.
298,000.
Wait a minute. How much does the president make?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
$298,000 a year, as opposed to Smotherman's $280,000 a year. Both county managers. I don't know what the county manager in Cumberland County, his experience is. We do know that Smotherman has had a great deal of experience, right?
Yes.
All right. So maybe they should have been paying Griffin more money.
Yeah, that was kind of, because I remember when that came out, and I remember when he was hired. I was surprised because my understanding before he was hired that no, we don't, no, we're not looking at him, blah, blah, blah.
Brought him as an interim to get us through whatever.
That was in 2009. But
you can rest. No, what he came in this time. Did he not as an interim? Just to fill in as Sharon was gone?
It could be. But the thing about it is, people are bringing up a story from, what was it, 2016 when he got fired as county manager in Virginia. I don't know the details on it. I don't know why he was fired, but I do know it's Chris Morris. I do know that when he was hired this time, I questioned a couple of commissioners because I thought y'all were kind of worried. They said, no. They said, we spoke to him, we investigated, we were very satisfied with his story, his account, et cetera, and other avenues that they investigated on what happened in 2016. And we did not feel like that was going to play a role in us hiring him as him being detrimental to the county. So
but anyway,
there's a lot there.
Anywho, Chris, the missing in action young man.
Yeah.
Well, getting ready to get Bubble Girl too.
Bubble Girl. Find her a bubble suit.
Tell her my suggestion last night was in jest. I hope she knows that.
Yeah, I know it was. It was all good.
Yeah, well, she has the same sense. I'll back that up. She has the same sick sense of humor that I have. I have found out.
She does. Well, it's we and I know, Richard, one of yours vehicles are not accidents.
They're not
in this case, but what happens around a home sometimes, or a lot of them are accidents.
I'm talking about car crashes. They are not accidents.
I just want to let people know. Yeah, Rayford talks about the car incidents are not accidents. But around the home, accidents happen. That's mostly where they happen, and it's just an accidental fall, and it just happened to hurt the same wrist that she just had the plate put in. But she'll be all right. She's a tough Marine. She's handling it well.
I got a soldering gun. If she's got a plate in there, I can help you out with that. Get some rivets and some solder. I got some really sharp knives.
I offered to do it. I had all the tools to do it, but she just refused to let me put that plate in. So,
okay. Well, sorry.
Go figure. But yeah, I was at the meeting last night, representing the Wreaths Across America. Presented Commissioner Foster a certificate, actually a commemorative notebook for his help on the December 13th ceremony. Also got to mention the fact that Live and Local Real Talk was there, covering it, our official media sponsor. And I had noticed while I was sitting in there, there was a lot of department heads had attended the meeting, which is normal to a degree, but there was a lot of department heads. And I noticed that Commissioner Knapp thanked the department heads when they met with the county commissioners. So when you get the department heads meeting with the county commissioners, and something like this happens, it happens in all government. It's not just Onslow County. It happens in cities. I thought, not just me, coincidental that Mr. Eaton was interviewed back in January. So I don't think this was a spur of the moment. Let's do this, in February.
It was not.
No, I think it. Obviously some things that happened. I agree with Lee about the clerk's position. A lot of people are speculating, and I think eventually everything will come out in time. But we need not knee-jerk react and figure out what's going to cost the county, what's it going to cost. Nothing. Nobody knows anything because we don't sit behind those closed-door meetings.
Yeah, I would hope that any person they hire as a manager will not consider an employee that the county manager or the county commissioners can hire, i.e. a clerk. That's one of three. I would hope that a future county manager would never think of that person, just the position, not the person involved, but just the position, as being one of being a snitch.
Right. Yep.
Well, it's just like one of our listeners brought up a good point. The same board that hired Smitherman is not necessarily the same board that just made the motion to end his contract, not in total. And I've noticed that online, especially on our page, there was a few commissioners that were singled out and people were going after them. Don't vote for him. Don't vote for him.
The vote was unanimous to
all
remove
7.
to remove this individual from the position. To get 7 people to agree to something like this is sometimes pretty difficult. Most times is pretty difficult when you take an action like this, because there's going to be a lot of backfire, especially in an election year.
Okay,
so we're going to wait and see where the shoe drops, but it's going to drop.
Yeah, it's going to drop and more come out. And if Mr. Smitherman decides to take this to court to get monetary value out of the termination of his contract, he can do that. We'll see where it goes. But, I have got, and when we're done with Chris, because I don't want to take up his time, some stuff that I want to read you about other counties recently, so it's not just Onslow County. Yeah. This happens a lot. It happens everywhere, not everywhere, but a lot of places. It's part of government.
And if the folks out there want to go find a county commission, a county manager that can work for, I think what the average is in North Carolina is like $146,000. Yes. There's some working for less than $100,000. You understand that?
Exactly.
But is that what we want? We want somebody with that little experience and that small of a county to come to Onslow County. We're complex here, people. This is a complex county.
To make this political, there's no politics involved in this. This is a contract, and this was a motion that was made last night to terminate the contract. That's what it was.
Yep.
And just real quickly, speaking on the fact that it's not, political, I commend the commissioners that are on the board right now. I mentioned in my speech to the commissioners that I was thanking them, the current board, and those that will be serving on the board, because we know elections are coming on. But a couple of commissioners commented and complimented the attendance of Whitney Cantrell, and I believe Elliot Jarman were there.
Yes,
they've been at the county commissioners meeting. I'm not doing this to tell people who to vote for. I don't do that.
Right.
I'm just saying it's good to see that these people who are interested in running for government are there, seeing government inaction.
Yes, there's a lot to learn.
If you want to know who to vote for, call me. On the private line.
Don't do that. Call me.
And I'll tell you who to vote for.
Anyway, I look forward to coming back to the show tomorrow after we
we'll
get
see you
past
tomorrow.
We
Let us know.
I'm saving bubble wrap.
Thank you, Rayford. I'm doing the same.
I'm going to buy that
Everybody
bubble for that I sent you.
Well, the only problem with that is our son Jordan, even at the age of 28, his favorite Christmas present is bubble wrap because he just likes to sit there and pop it. So,
my daughter does.
Don't go popping the bubble wrap. That'll just hurt her even more.
Yeah,
that's not a good plan.
Everybody have a blessed day.
You too. All right, let us know.
Safe travels. Remember, there's Hampstead out there.
And then there's
Hampstead.
There's fog.
Take care.
All right.
Speaking of fog.
Yeah, let's do the weather because I have more that I want to say on this.
Yep. Low pressure moved offshore overnight. High pressure, thank goodness, is replacing that. There will be some large swells for a couple of days, but better marine conditions are coming. Today, offshore northerly winds around 5 knots, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon, 3 to 5 footers every 13 seconds, what we call ground swells, 2 to 3 feet near shore, sounds and rivers flat, increasing to a light chop in the afternoon. Wednesday, southwesterly winds 15 to 20, increasing to 20 to 25 in the afternoon.
Right.
Gusts up to 30 knots tomorrow. That's big wind. Seas 5 to 7. Those are big waves. Near shore seas 2 to 4, building to 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Sounds and rivers choppy, increasing to rough in the afternoon. Thursday, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 4 to 6, 3 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. A chance of rain in the morning on Thursday.
Yeah, today, widespread dense fog, mainly before 8 a.m. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high near 64 today. Calm wind becoming southwest 5 to 7 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 43. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high near 73. Thursday, a chance of rain, mostly cloudy with 74. And looking at the weekend forecast, it looks like another rainy weekend.
Yeah.
And we've got Charlie on the line.
Hey, Charlie. Good morning.
Hey, very quickly, I caught the tail end of your conversation. I guess you have a local representative in your county or your municipality. How much is he making? $298,000?
$280,000. He's the county manager.
Wow, that's got to be impressive. Boy, you got to go tell all your friends like I made it. I'm going to check. This person, I guarantee
if you will look nationwide at counties our size and in the situation that we're in, you'll find out that we're pretty much even keel, if not just a little bit below the average throughout the country. Here in North Carolina, there's only one other county that we can compare us to. There are bigger ones, there are smaller ones. Forget the average, because you're going to find some brand new people in the positions for $100,000 or less per year. And but the other county is Cumberland County. That also has what they call Fort Bragg. That's a military installation that I'm sure you've heard of. Camp Lejeune is in Onslow County. It's a very large military installation as well. The two counties have very similar needs, problems, issues. And in Cumberland County, where Fayetteville is located, this salary there, $298,000. Here in Onslow County, $280,000. It's comparable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to look at when you're looking for employees.
Okay, yeah. So, but here's the deal. I can't imagine making that amount of money. If somebody said, "Hey, Charlie, you're going to get $280,000," I'm going to say to myself that I have got a stronger brain. I'm smarter than most. I'm going to turn everything around. I'm going to make this the most profitable. I'm going to turn everything around. Everybody in my community, they're going to advance financially. I'm going to do everything perfectly. Does this perfect person fit that criteria, or is it basically just a crapshoot?
This person does not get people making more money for themselves. He manages a county. The county people, the people living in this county, pay what they call property taxes. The county commissioners, at the direction of the county manager, will set up a budget every year to decide how they're going to spend the tax money that the people in Onslow County provide them. And what it's going to go for, whether, what kind of projects are out there. They got to spend money and build new schools, because the county here is growing in size every year. If we go into business right now, we have to build one new school every year to handle the increased population in this county.
I get it. Okay,
And,
so
that's millions of dollars per school.
Okay, so here's my question. Somebody basically said we're going to pay this individual $280,000 per year because this person is gifted, this person is intelligent, this person can grow our community, this person has an original perspective that's going to affect all of our lives. He's going to financially benefit all of us. Let me ask you that. Is that true, or is potentially an absolute buffoon idiot?
He's trying, it's not to benefit all of us, it's to keep the county afloat.
But you're paying the person $280,000 a year.
Yeah.
You're paying them $280,000.
I'll take it.
I dare say for $280,000,
No.
you would fall flat on your faces.
I say give the person $10 million a year. Is this person worth it, or is he going to go back 5 years from now and say, listen, blah, 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 blah. He's not worth that amount of money. He's not worth that amount of money. This person needs to start off at a salary of maybe $50,000 per year, and then we evaluate his progress or her progress 2 years from now, and we give this person a salary increase. Right now, we're giving this person a lot of money. The people in your community, my gut says the average salary is maybe $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per year. Why are you paying this person $280,000 per year? What is special about this person? That's all I'm asking.
You're going to have to find a person who can handle the business of a county like this. Just like
we don't know if this person can handle this person 6 months from now. You're going to say we made a mistake.
Hold on. Now, they have a track record for him in other places where he's worked. He's actually worked in this county at one time in the past. So we knew a little bit more about him than you would think. They do their background works on people like that. They find out what they've done, how they performed, how the other counties that he was a manager in, how they worked out, how that, whether they were broke all the time, whether they were having to raise taxes all the time to pay for things, and again, we're unique in this county.
Do you really think this person is worth that amount of money? Seriously?
I think that a person in that position, according to what's going on nationally, person like that.
But isn't the average salary for
it does not matter what the average salary is. We got the majority of the people in this Onslow County, the majority of the workers in Onslow County are Marines, okay? They don't make $280,000.
Okay, so you like this person, right?
No, I did not say that. I like the position.
$280,000? No, that's unheard of.
If they find another one for that, they're going to be lucky.
What's the average salary of like a successful person in your community?
I have no idea. You got to understand, we have a different community. You're not hearing me. There are 50,000 Marines here. When we take 50,000 people out of our population of 200,000 total, 1/4 of our population are earning military pay.
What's that? What's that approximately per year?
Where are you? We're going to start at the low end when they first come out of basic training.
What's the high end?
Probably $75,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year.
And this guy's going to make it $280,000. You have people that are dying for this country that are making $80,000. But you're going to give this clown $200,000. This is a joke. I think I'm telling you right now, this guy's going to end up being an absolute clown. You're going to look back at this a year from now and say, you know what, Charlie, you were kind of right. No, you don't give anybody that money. Let them earn that money. Let them earn that money.
All right. I'm glad you got the answers, Charlie. Got to go.
Yeah, I'll make a correction real quick. I had said something about Smitherman losing his job in Virginia in 2009. It was 2016.
Yeah, it was just recently.
Yeah, it was just recent. I got 2009 on my mind for some reason.
I don't know where that came from.
But, we're talking about the contract being terminated, and some of the comments on our page were from people who acted like this has never happened anywhere else. I did a little bit of checking last night. I didn't go into it deep.
We're not terminated more contracts than Onslow County has ever terminated.
But based on recent news reports, there's been a high turnover in North Carolina county manager positions, particularly during the 2025-2026 years, with at least 5 high-profile terminations or forced departures occurring in the last 5 years. And here's some examples. Of course, Onslow County, number 1 on the list because it just happened. Cabarrus County, 2025. Sean Newton was fired in August 2025, just 5 months after being appointed. And then once again, in Cabarrus County, 2025, Mike Downs, a previous long-serving manager, was fired in January 2025 following a controversial $24 million building appraisal issue. Interesting. Pender County, 2025. Michael Silverman was fired by commissioners in April 2025, less than a year into the job. Durham County, Wendell Davis, this was in 2021, was fired with a 3-2 vote in May 2021. I mean,
He's not the first. He's not going to be the last.
That's right. And he may not be the last one Onslow County has to in the future, but
when you find a county hiring people that they have to turn around and fire rapidly, and they do it time and again,
right,
then there's a problem with the county,
right,
or with the people in the county, the county commissioners. People can look great on paper. I will tell you that I've actually had to hire people, and sometimes it was based on how great they looked or how great they appeared to look on paper. Lower positions generally, where I was working as a manager, the lower positions, you can't afford to, when you're paying somebody that kind of a salary right out of school,
right,
they don't have a history.
Right.
Most of what I did was not even based upon their grades. It was based upon what they did while they were in school. Like, did they work a job? As hiring a reporter, if I found somebody who had a 4.0 average in school, in a broadcast school, or journalism major, if they had a 4.0 and they were great on paper, and then I had somebody who had a 3.2, taking the same courses. One of them didn't have to work while they were in college. The other one worked as a bartender or a waiter or a waitstaff. Guess who got the job?
That's
all
right.
All else equal, somebody who can talk to the people. They got a track record.
Right.
I'm sorry, y'all. That's part of the way I did things, and that's the way that I would look at somebody else, like a position like this too. If I was there are so many openings in so many counties in this country.
Right.
Cities.
Yes.
County managers are not just for a county manager. There are openings for city managers who are comparable to county managers, but they just work for a city in the county, right?
Right.
But they're all over this country. The salaries are all over the place. Some of them are going to be approaching probably $1 million a year. All right. What do you think a Los Angeles County manager gets, or whatever? What do you think the city manager of Los Angeles gets? These people going to get a lot of money. That's the way it is. Are they worth it? Yeah. If you're trying to compete for the best of the best, they probably are worth it.
Let's address some comments that we just had on our Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's two. Let me do both of them, and then I'm going to let you address it, okay? Because I know what I've got to say.
Go ahead.
Okay. My understanding, this is the commenter, was Smitherman actually resigned last week, but his buddies in the county commissioners decided to fire him so he would still get paid.
Wrong.
That is wrong. All right. Comment number 2. We know the two of you are friends. We know the two of you are friends with commissioners and him. So sure, the two of you would come to their defense. The problem is the fact he still gets paid even though he isn't there.
The fact is he's unemployed at this time.
Right.
He's not eligible for any money.
That's right.
At this time.
That's
as
right.
of last night when they fired him.
That's right.
Unless there's a 30-day deal or something like that. I don't know what.
There was no resignation.
Okay. He did not resign last week. He did not. He was told that he was not going to be continued in his employment, but he was still on the payroll.
Right.
He was told, and to come up with a plan of separation. A separation plan. He and the county attorney were working it out. Not he and the county commissioners. He and the county attorney.
Correct.
Whatever happened, I do not know. Am I friends with the county commissioners? Let me see.
I graduated with one.
I did
I
not.
have another one that I've known since the early 70s. Our kids used to play together.
I don't.
I have another one that I met back in 2015 when he was first running and getting into politics. I know him and his wife well. I have another. I grew up here in Onslow County in Jacksonville. I knew the former chairman very well. I know the current chairman because he went into politics at the same time I did. He was on the board, same board I was on. So yeah, I know them all, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything they say or do. Just like you and me sitting here.
I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me.
Exactly. How many mornings have we disagreed on stuff?
My wife doesn't agree with me.
He gives me that
Stuff.
side glance, that side eye
I can
glance.
stop that right now. See what I can do? No, but in all seriousness, by the nature of this position, this job, this thing we're doing, I know
Right.
all of the county commissioners.
Yes, so do
I
I.
know 6 of the county commissioners. One of them I do not know because she hasn't been there long enough and she is not
I
been
know
part of.
Lisa.
I do not.
Right.
And I wouldn't know her if I bumped into her on the street. So
Right.
I'm not friends with them. Socially, one county commissioner, I've been to his house. He's been here. We've been at dinners. We in the past.
So you're so biased, Rayford. Biased.
And another one, the county commission chairman, let's just put it this way. I worked with his daddy. This guy was
Right.
just a child when I worked with his daddy back in the 70s.
Mhm.
So I know I'm not socializing with him away from here or otherwise. I consider him a friend. I consider everybody a friend unless they become a foe.
Right.
And that's easy to do if you keep it up. Let's see. Buchanan, Paul. I worked with him, but that's
Known
when we
him for
both carried
years
badges and
years
guns.
years.
So
His daughter and my daughter used to play together on occasion. I've known him for years.
I've known him for decades. So,
and that was through my husband,
But that was
how I met Paul
that was the way. Well,
and his
I
family.
met Paul through drugs. Let's put it that way.
And drugs will get you every
Yeah,
time.
you got the other people. But that's
I'm
that's
just
neither here nor there. Have we been critical?
Yes.
Critiquing any or all of them as a group?
we've had
have.
our moments.
Former county manager Jack Bright. Now
Yes.
he and I were on the
Chairman.
same police department. He was the chairman.
Yes,
I mean, county chairman.
We knew what
commission
you
chairman.
meant.
But Jack Bright was on the board, and I knew him back in the 70s.
Right.
He was a
Oh,
he was a popo. Okay,
Yes.
Jacksonville
His
PD.
wife grew up right
Duh.
up here on 17.
I was there present the night he was sworn in as a full-time officer. Oh, duh.
I was very young then.
So
but,
I know that. Prior
Thank
to
you,
that,
Ray.
prior to that time, W.C. Jarman. That
mhm.
goes before some of you people out there running your mouths. But I knew W.C. Jarman. Were we friends? We were probably in the 70s because he was a cop. He was a sheriff's detective, and I was at his crime scenes too often, and that was the way that was.
Right.
Was I critical of WC and pretty much everybody else on every county commission at every board out there? I know these people.
Well, thank you, Joseph, for your apology. We appreciate that. And he did apologize for saying something about us being friends. He's friends with some of them too.
Well,
I appreciate
I
that.
can't
And
say that I'm not friendly with everybody.
well, see,
all
that's
of
like I
them.
grew up here, and I got into politics 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people I came to know more in a personal nature than I knew of them before. But the thing about it is, right now, his contract was terminated. He's not getting any money.
Nope.
Because of that. And okay, Rayford, let me
He's
just
on the street. When I fire you, you stay fired. This is the way I used to say it.
it's going to have to be negotiations, and it could very well be the county says you're not getting a penny. We don't know what transpired. We don't know what
It's a personnel
happened.
matter. It's
It
not
is
like
personnel.
it's not like it's something else. But again, personnel matters when it comes to a court, or
They're
when it
gonna
comes
be
to
out there.
even let me just give you an example.
Okay.
Police departments and sheriff's offices, law enforcement, they've had to fire people, right?
Yes.
Under 99% of the occasions, that is a personnel matter and it's not up for public scrutiny. There can be, it can become a time, and there have become times that for the better good of the community, when they had uprisings because somebody would get fired like that,
Right.
then it was decided by the attorneys involved that it would be in the best interest. Those are the 3 words, 4 words, in the best interest of the people, that the conditions of their termination would be revealed. Now,
Mm-hmm.
y'all can keep it up. And if you keep throwing stuff out there, it might become revealed. They might have to do it. They may decide that it is in, their attorney may decide that it is in the best interest of the county for them to reveal this. That
Let me
would
ask
be
you
a
something,
legal
Raver.
decision. Their hands at this point in time are tied.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Okay. And this is just an example. It is not factual, has nothing to do with what just happened. I'm just using this as an example. Say you were the county manager, and we've had a lot of construction in the county.
Mhm.
We had to put out bids for different things. We just don't pick somebody and say, hey, go build this. What if we were to I found out that you as county manager, you were influencing some of those bids?
You mean about like bid rigging and stuff
Yes.
like that? That's happened just recently in some other areas.
Yes. And now this is just an example, folks.
Not here.
Not saying it happened here.
Smithman.
But okay, so we found out other things were occurring behind the scenes that you were doing. You don't think we have a right to take your contract into discussion and say,
Uh-huh.
hey, this is borderline criminal, or it could be criminal.
It'd become criminal.
But that doesn't mean you're going to get paid because you got let go for wrongdoing.
Now, this is not to say that there's anything like that in Oswego
No,
County.
I'm not saying that. I'm just throwing examples out.
We know nothing. Now, here's the other way that all of this can be made public.
Mm-hmm.
Get Mr. Smitherman to sign a release to release the county from everything,
Right,
and no responsibility come back on the county commissioners.
right.
And then let Mr. Smitherman sign a letter allowing the county commissioners to reveal everything about his termination and the reasons for it. Okay, now it's time to what we call put up or shut up. How's that sound?
Well, from what I saw last night, and it wasn't just on our site, it was on some other sites. There's people who take this as an opportunity to bash other people and to make negative comments. Let's all just take a deep breath.
No,
Let's all sit back
I want to hold.
and wait and find out what goes on. It could be that, I'm trusting that the 7 commissioners made a wise choice. If they had reason that they felt like they needed to terminate his contract.
The reason they're in that position is because we put them in that position. Okay,
That's right.
we put them there, and they're there at our beck and call to take action or to do things
Mhm.
that are in the best interest of the county.
And because
okay?
you may not agree with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commissioners, whoever that made a decision and voted on something, and you don't agree on their decision, does not make them crooked. Stop.
No. And you kept
Stop.
making claims that so-and-so is crooked. Your comments will be removed, okay?
Yes.
Because
We're not about that.
You're making an allegation now. It's time for you to put up or shut up. If you don't have information about that, then you need to shut up.
And Rayford, that's another thing I want to say too is some of the people that were making these horrendous comments. Are you going to the commissioner meetings? Are you watching them? Do you know how long have you been doing it? How long have you been a part of the government? How long have you been voicing your opinion? Why aren't you running? Come on, man. There's a lot more to being a commissioner, a city manager, a city councilman,
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
All right.
Charlie, is that Charlie?
Yes, Charlie. Charlie.
All right, Charlie, we've been tied up here. What can I help you with?
Yes.
I'm going to say one last thing. First, I
Okay.
have great respect for you guys.
Thank you.
So I would never disrespect you. I would never disrespect
I know
you
that.
guys. But go ahead.
I said, I know that. Thank you.
Okay. So I genuinely mean that. I genuinely mean that. I got to bring tears to my eyes that you guys are get upset with me. Anyway, so I've been following this guy. He had a stipulation in his contract, but it said if he got forced out, the county would have to pay him through the end of 2028. So isn't there a lawyer that negotiated this deal that said, well, wait a minute, what if this guy's a complete idiot buffoon? We still have to pay him his salary of $280,000 per year. That's ridiculous to me.
Did he get forced out?
Okay, generally speaking, let me tell you about contracts. I mean, I had contracts too, but for people in the TV industry and the news industry, and yeah, I would have to pay them if I decided that they needed to go, because sometimes I just didn't like the way they were performing. They weren't doing the job that I wanted to do. Then there may be a contract relief. I pay them 30 days or 60 days severance pay, right?
Right.
That was not unusual.
Right.
But if somebody comes up to me and spits in my face, I don't care if he's got a 40-year contract and I got $1 million payout. He ain't getting it, and he's going to get the boot after he gets off the floor. You understand?
No, I get
it's a
that.
thing for just cause. For just cause, if you're terminated, you don't have, all contracts are pretty much null and void.
Yeah, but it basically says, listen, this is the person that we're bringing to you. You have trust and faith in him, but just in case he turns out, or he or she turns out, or the pronoun turns out to be a complete failure, you're going to pay this person. It just seems like there would be a stipulation that would say, no, we're not going to pay you. But then it goes into court legalities, and you're going to spend tens of thousands of. Yeah, I get it. But by the way, listen, here's what I want to say. I apologize. It hurt me that I think I heard you guys. I apologize. So I'm going to go. Take care, bye.
Okay, go.
well, you know,
he's passionate. I understand that, and I like Charlie because he's passionate. I'm passionate when I have to be.
Yes, and you know, and I have to agree with some of the listeners, and especially with one that just texted me. I think that the salary that he was given, that was back, 2.5 years ago. I think it was a little high, but you know, I was really surprised when that came out. I was like, what?
You want to know what would knock you guys on your off your feet right now? If you had any clue how much a good meteorologist in a small TV market makes.
I hope it's more than they probably have the hardest job. Because weather changes.
All eyes are on them. No, but
Yes.
seriously, news talent.
Yes.
Because they are in a television operation. They are the image,
Right.
and you pay for image. If they do something wrong, if that's the reason. You have any idea how many poor female anchors? Oh God, if I was ever to come back, I would never want to come back as a female anchor at a TV station. Why? You
Why?
cannot go to your mailbox or your paper box without getting dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because somebody's going to see you. You show up at some location. Well, y'all know it about TV stars and movie stars and all that sort of good stuff, how they show up, no
Right.
makeup on, and there's some paparazzi grabbing pictures of them. Those make the greatest selling pictures out there. So there's a lot of pressure on these people. I wouldn't want to be one. Okay. I would love their salaries, but I wouldn't want to be one.
Right.
But these people, sometimes they're paid not only just for the nuts and bolts of everything they do day in and day out, they're paid for their image and what their standings and what they have brought to the community from other areas. It's not just what they do when they're working in Onslow County.
Mm-hmm.
They go to meetings, they go to state meetings, they're dealing with budget issues, not of their own making. They're dealing with the state, they're dealing with the federal government with budgets.
Right.
And
right.
they prepare the budget for this entire county. How much is our budget? What is our big budget? What is the bottom line on Onslow County budget? How many millions of dollars are there at stake here? And the county manager prepares the manager's budget. The county commissioners do not prepare a budget.
Mm-hmm.
The seven of them together could not put together a budget, the magnitude of what's needed in this county, because they don't know. That's not what they're there for.
I wonder what it would be like to be a county commissioner for 30 days. I wonder what it would be
Oh,
like.
you would just enjoy
The
it for
decisions
30
you have to
days.
make?
Nah, that'd be easy because you're not going to have to pay the price later on.
Oh yeah, you'll have somebody talk about you.
That's and you know it's just the way it
Well,
is. So.
you know,
I wouldn't want the pressure. Being a county commissioner, I'd have to be relatively nice.
Right.
And how long is that going to last me? 30 seconds.
It just doesn't go back to saying, a lot of us, we all have opinions. There are people who agree with the purchase of the equine country, the horse farm, as they term it. There are people who agree with the county helping to support the YMCA with a swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who disagree. It's your right to agree or disagree, but don't make it hate. Like, oh, he's a crook because he agreed. Those 7 commissioners, just like our city councilmen, and just like our municipalities, they have to sit down and make decisions, and they make it as a group. Mm-hmm. It's not one person controlling everything. It's as a group. And they look at things like what's good for our county. Mm-hmm. Now, have we suffered any losses because we bought the horse farm? Do you know of any losses that we've suffered?
Let's just take the pool situation.
Have we lost anything over that?
Let's take the pool situation. Is there anyone dumb enough in this county to think that we do not need a county pool? Wilmington, the city of Wilmington, I forgot how many municipal pools they had just in the city of Wilmington. I was there when they built the first one, but they are needed. A swimming pool, a public swimming pool, we do not have in Onslow County. Okay, not one. We don't have could we build one? Yeah, with the amount of money that we've contributed to this pool, we could probably build one. Then you got to maintain it. Then you got to staff it. Then you got to do whatever.
Well, not only that, but if there was something tragic to happen, who would be responsible?
Who's going to be in charge of
Who wants that responsibility?
Is that another department that we want to create in Onslow County? The pool department. Okay, then we got to hire a manager. Then we got to hire lifeguards. Then we got to hire people to maintain it. We got to do this. We got to do that. The staff of Onslow County would grow tremendously.
Yes, yes.
I would say to support a pool like this, but for a county government, what would it take? 40 people minimum?
I would think you got to have maintenance and somebody to oversee it.
You got to have lifeguards.
You got to have guards. You've got to have a liability insurance. You've got to have all this stuff on it. I think it was an easy solution for the residents of Onslow County.
Yeah, but we go ahead and pay for it, and as a big chunk of it, we pay for a big chunk of it through the school. Now, yes, it was tax dollars, county tax dollars through the schools and through the county.
Have we suffered?
There was a little deception in some of that, not intentional.
Right.
But as far as when you look at it, the schools get their money from the county.
Yes.
So therefore, it was the county commissioners and the school board, which the county commissioners paid the school board to put this money up.
Well, let me just say that money is given to the school board. They could have spent it on supplies, salaries, or whatever, but they chose to take that money, which is basically theirs, even though it did come from the county, and give it to the YMCA.
Now, what did they get in return? They got to have every second grader student.
Yes.
Forever.
Right.
To get free swimming lessons.
Exactly.
And learn to swim, or I will say, learn to survive.
There was so much craziness over us supporting the swimming pool. I personally, and I'm going to tell you right now, some of the commissioners and I have discussed it and we disagree, but I personally think it's a good thing. And I support the YMCA 100%.
Yeah.
I think we needed it. I think it's wonderful.
And the one thing, the reason that the people complain and still complain is because of one individual there and whatever is dealt with there.
Yes.
He rubs some people the wrong way. He's a great businessman and he's a very successful businessman.
It's his dream.
And if we could if that YMCA is as successful as his businesses are, holy moly.
Well, you know what?
Then why wouldn't you want to do something like that?
It's just like Kelly was sitting here telling us all about the YMCA that they've had for years and years and years in the county of Rockingham where she grew up.
Yeah, buddy.
That county is what, half the size of ours?
Mm-hmm.
And you go look at other counties that have these things. Right now, people want a big recreation spot. They want a big place that they can go where we can have concerts.
Where did you learn to swim?
And I learned to swim on my own
Mm-hmm.
in a swimming pool.
Where?
And
Public
in the
pool?
ocean.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was not a public pool.
I learned to swim at Cedar Point.
Cedar Point also, yes, because there was no waves there. It was beautiful.
The Jacksonville
Yes.
Recreation Director.
Right.
You remember who it was? His first name is Jack.
Jack Amiette.
Jack Amiette was teaching swimming lessons
Right.
at that time as the director of recreation. Where could he get to a pool to teach swimming? He saw a need for
Mhm.
swimming lessons. He set up classes. I was in one of those classes. My sister was in it too. My cousin was in it. We all went to Cedar Point and learned to
Right.
swim just off the Intercoastal Waterway.
Well, Rayford, you want to
So,
talk about that?
come
Yeah.
on.
I mean, you know where I learned to play tennis? Through the county recreation. I took a class.
I
Didn't
did
cost
not.
me anything. It was free. I won a tournament. I
good for
couldn't
you.
play since then because I couldn't even hit the ball. You know, it's something you have to keep. I can't know. But, you know, the county offers this stuff. Where do you think that money comes from?
Taxpayers.
That's right. Everything is based on the taxpayers.
If you don't want that money going to these types of things, then go to the budget meetings.
Right.
You express your opinion to the county commissioners
Right.
when there's public, those meetings, those budget sessions that they hold are public. Y'all can go too.
I think the city of Jacksonville and the county of Onslow has done a marvelous job over the
And
years
if you can do better, apply for the job.
of giving us things to do.
If you can do better, apply for the job or run for the office. If you can
that's
do
what I'm
better,
saying.
if you can do better than you got something to offer as county manager, and you'll work for 150,000 instead of 280. Go for it.
I mean, we finally got a YMCA in Onslow County. Finally.
I'd like to have $100,000 a year, and I would go down there. But you know what? I wouldn't be worth $50.
We're
going to
get an all-purpose, recreational center or
So-
whatever built over here in
And
Williamsburg.
again,
Finally.
if you can do better, or you have things to offer that perhaps those county commissioners are not seeing, go to the budget meetings, go
Exactly.
to the sessions, offer them.
Exactly.
Type it up if you want to. Send it to
Exactly.
them. There's 7 of them, and their emails are posted online.
Exactly. Well, look, Rayford, we even have a Krispy Kreme in Onslow County now, so we've really come a long ways.
I'm
And I'd like
hungry
to see.
now all
I
of a
know.
sudden. Why did you mention that?
We have a huge population here too,
We do.
and there's going to be more and more coming in the future. But you know what? Things cost money.
Not if we put a border guard out there.
Things cost money. You go to any town, any city, anywhere, any county, things cost money.
Okay.
All right.
Are we done with this?
I don't know. I had forgot. Let's move to Arizona.
Tucson, the Nancy Guthrie case. We're in the third
Man.
week of her kidnapping.
So sad.
Let's discuss a couple things. Clues, probably a bunch, but we won't know much. We won't know much because the FBI wants it that way
Mm-hmm.
during any investigation, especially an ongoing investigation, an abduction investigation where somebody is missing,
Right.
probably kidnapped, hopefully still alive. So they're not going to release a lot of information.
Right.
Speaking of politics, there's one guy out there that is doing a bunch of stuff. And this seems to be one of those issues that's been a long time ago an issue.
Wait a minute. We talk about nanos.
The FBI versus
Manu?
local cops.
Right.
I mean, that's been a misconception for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Some cases, yes, an FBI would come in because they would get called in by the locals, and then they would come in, take every bit of information that locals have already garnished and gathered, put it together with their investigators
Right.
and their lab and their sophisticated stuff there at Quantico.
Right.
They got stuff that there's not a I guess LAPD has it. I don't think New York PD has it, but they've got some very sophisticated stuff there. Luckily, we'll talk about Onslow County here in just a minute with DNA, but just hang in for that.
Mm-hmm.
But they got it over pretty much everywhere else, right?
Right.
So they will take whatever information, the preliminary stuff, then they will put that together, do their own stuff using that information, and then gather any more that wasn't gathered by the locals.
Right.
And then they will work a case. What is it? Is that called Pima County Sheriff?
Pima.
Just yesterday,
Pima.
he contradicted himself.
Oh,
and that confused a lot of people. It confused me. First, these are many media quotes from the sheriff.
Yeah.
Sheriff Chris Nanos said, the Guthrie family has been cleared as suspects in the investigation into the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. Those are his words, not mine, coming from the media, not from me. To be clear, he said, the Guthrie family, to include all siblings and spouses, has been cleared as possible suspects in this case. The family has been nothing but cooperative and gracious and are victims in this case. To suggest otherwise is not only wrong, it is cruel, according to the sheriff. His words, not mine. Second, on another media report the same day, County Sheriff Chris Nanos talked about Tommaso Cioni and Annie Guthrie. That was a married couple.
Right.
An interview with the Daily Mail pushing back on online speculation surrounding the disappearance of 84-year-old Guthrie and urging critics not to target family members without evidence. I stay in touch with them, mostly Savannah, he said. I've not been in touch with Tommaso or Annie too much. I have talked to them a little bit, but I know the investigators are in touch with them. But I've really told people this is a lot of stress. If Cioni is guilty, if he's the one who did it, and we're able to prove that, then at that time, jump on it. The sheriff is quoted by the Daily Mail saying, nobody has been cleared in the case, including family members, but warned that online accusations can unfairly put a mark on someone who could be innocent. You're putting a mark, he said, on somebody who could be completely innocent, and more important than that, he's family. Understand that the sheriff is making such conflicting statements. You got to understand that. That's confusing the FBI, but it's not. They work around people like that all the time. Everywhere they go, they have those kinds of issues. Not everywhere, but in a lot of places. There are a lot of locals who love the publicity.
Yes.
Whether they're cops, whether they're managers, whether they're mayors, whether they're whoever. They love the publicity. It's their perhaps claim to fame. Bad guys is what they're trying to prevent from getting information. The FBI does not work so that bad guys will find out what's going on. Or worse yet, if Nancy Guthrie is still alive, decide, based upon the information they're getting from the sheriff or from whoever,
right?
We got to get rid of her now. She's a problem for us.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen.
Do you want
doesn't
that?
help.
Do you want that to come back as your legacy, sheriff?
Well, tell that to some of the news media too.
The same thing.
Yeah, it's just
From
ridiculous.
the Bureau. They received the DNA evidence report from the private lab in Florida that Sheriff Nanos
Shouldn't have
sent
gone
the
there.
recovered glove to for examination.
Right.
No doubt the FBI wants to test the glove itself to retrieve DNA, hoping that it has not been destroyed or tainted. Sometimes when you test DNA, if you've got just little bits of DNA, you can destroy that and not be able to test it again.
Yes.
At the FBI labs at Quantico, the techs will run the results that they're given through a database called CODIS. That stands for Combined DNA Identification System. Running it through the FBI software database can match the sample to known DNA files.
If you're in the file, yes.
Every felon in recent years has DNA on file, as do any number of other people. A lot of cold cases have been solved when DNA from those cases are periodically run through CODIS that are regularly updated. Obviously, not everyone is in the system. Millions of illegals who have come into this country in recent years are not included unless they've been arrested since arriving here
Right.
on felony charges.
Right.
Generally, unless you've had issues with law enforcement, your DNA is not going to be in the system. If you're a victim, your DNA will be in the system. Evidence collected at the scene doesn't belong to the victim. Evidence collected at that scene will also be put into the system.
Correct.
Okay? Into the files. Not like it is with fingerprints. Yes, there's some similarities. If you've ever been in the U.S. Armed Forces, ever been a law enforcement officer, ever had any form of federal identification from postal carrier to boat operator to boat captain to whatever, ever been arrested on felony charges, those prints are on file. DNA samples do not include nearly as many people, obviously. This whole case is messy.
Very much so.
And the sheriff has been on the defense ever since the morning of 3:00 in the morning when the discovery was made. On last Sunday morning? No.
Yes, that she was missing, right? Correct.
Yeah,
it was
that it happened
Sunday morning.
It happened at that time.
Right.
They got the call, and then the deputies went over whatever time of day it was. And they determined that she was probably abducted about 3:00 in the morning.
Correct.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around
Sunday
that time,
morning,
yes.
the 1st. They collected lots of evidence. They walked the scene. They walked over the area, and then they kind of took their crime scene tape down and went home, which rankled any number of individuals. That basically opens the house up to both the relatives or anybody had a legal right to be there, and also every Tom, Dick, and Harry that wanted to go by.
Right, but there was news media going up there that Sunday afternoon taking pictures of the blood stains on at the front door stoop. The news media was up there taking pictures.
Well, they were doing their job because the scene had been cleared.
Exactly, which it should have never been cleared,
No,
my opinion.
I would not have thought so.
No.
I mean, you still have an active missing person.
Yes.
Now, I go back to Colorado, back into the 90s when the little girl, 5-year-old Jean-Benet Ramsey,
Oh, Jean-Benet.
where the police there, the crime scene was the house. And they let every Tom, Dick, and Harry neighbors, the family, anybody that wanted to come into the house.
Right.
And the body was still there. They didn't know it. They didn't know where she was. She was a kidnap victim as far as they were concerned. But they let everybody traipse through the house.
Yes.
How much evidence did they leave there? A
Right.
lot. Could it have been a neighbor who did all of that? Yeah, could be. Could be a neighbor who came back to see what was going on too. And he just intentionally, well, I had a legal right to be there. I was, whatever. There are times that you just secure a scene and you keep it secured.
Right.
My God.
I would have kept it secure until an arrest was made, she was found, et cetera, et cetera. Well, let me tell you this right now. So, okay, they're going to make an arrest. They will.
Yeah.
They'll find the dude or dudes or dudettes, whoever responsible for this. But it will be a defense attorney's
dream
to have this case because the evidence to begin with was mishandled. The crime scene was contaminated with all the sheriff's complete disregard for doing pressers with correct information and him changing up all that. This is a defense attorney's dream case because it has just been so mishandled from the very beginning. And you know what?
It's going to be a mess.
It's going to be a mess
to get a conviction. When they don't presume people that are arrested anymore are guilty.
That's right.
let's take the Lindbergh baby.
Yes.
That guy, when he was arrested, he was guilty of sin, and I'm not sure he did it. I mean,
Yeah.
I am, because I
Right.
have read it, but if I was somebody up there, did you prove beyond any doubt, or any reasonable doubt, that this was the dude who did it? Oh my.
Well, Raper, going back to the sheriff, I mean, his pressers were horrible, but I do believe that maybe it would probably be in the best interest to give an update like every other day or something, because the speculation and the media and the stuff that's all going out there is just, there's so much confusion. There's so much being said. It's just
The
ridiculous.
update that I would give is, let me address, folks,
Exactly.
the rumors that you're spreading.
Exactly.
That one's not true. That one's
Take
not
care
true.
of it,
That one's
right.
not true. Here's an explanation for this.
Set the record.
What is your opinion? I don't have one.
Right.
And keep on going. Just
Right.
the facts, ma'am.
Let me just tell you, just
Take
like
it from Dragnet's Jack Webb.
that's right, just the facts, man. Let me tell you some of the. I'll do this real quick because I know we have weather. Some of the things that people, opinions that people are putting out there as to what happened. I wrote this down the other night because I was watching a podcast and people were calling in. All right, one person called in that said, in their opinion, it was the cartel, and that Nancy Guthrie is actually in Mexico right now. Another one said it was a kidnapping to increase ratings on the NBC Today show. It was done. Yeah. All right. And another one, mother recently signed a new life insurance policy the day before she was abducted. So, law enforcement needs to look into that. All right. And then we've got the conspiracy theory about Annie, the other daughter, Savannah's sister, working for a Clinton foundation with ties to Epstein. So, all right. And then
So
here's
was
another.
Nancy on the Epstein Island?
Hey, all right. Here it is. She was taken home, but she never came back out through the front door during her abduction. She was taken out the back door and driven away on a four-wheeler, and the blood drops on the front stoop were staged.
Why?
All right, here's my favorite.
Why would
one.
the blood drops be staged? That would be the
Because
first
to
question.
make people think. Well, first of all, we know the guy that was on the camera is an idiot. Okay, here's one right here. Wait, hold on here. She went out the front door to get the newspaper. That's after she had come home, and a coyote snatched her and drug her away.
Low pressure moved offshore overnight. High pressure, thank goodness, is replacing that. There would be some large swells for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
But better marine conditions are coming. We're going to have a couple of big, large waves days.
Right.
Northerly winds today around 5 knots, becoming southwesterly this afternoon, 3 to 5 footers every 13 seconds. They're far apart. What we call ground swells, 2 to 3 feet near shore. Sounds and rivers are flat, increasing to a light chop this afternoon. Wednesday, southwesterly winds 15 to 20, increasing to 20 to 25 in the afternoon, gust to 30. Seas 5 to 7 feet, near shore seas 2 to 4. They're going to build up a little bit in the afternoon tomorrow, 4 to 6. Sounds and rivers choppy, increasing to rough in the afternoon. Southwesterly winds on Thursday, 10 to 15, seas 4 to 6, 3 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. A chance of rain in the morning.
Of course, it's the weekend. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 64. Calm wind becoming southwest, 5 to 7 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 43. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high of 73. Thursday, a chance of rain, a small chance, mostly cloudy with a high near 74. And Friday, a chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a high of 77. And looking at the weekend forecast, rain. Could change.
Rain.
We've had rain every single weekend since January 1st.
No, we had snow.
Oh, that was frozen rain. Frozen rain.
All right, looking at around Onslow County from the Amateur Radio Club folks out there. Randy up in Southwest. He was out this morning, nice and early. He was on his golf cart. 38 degrees it was in Southwest area, 92% humidity. Winds are out of the northeast, kind of light, about 2 miles per hour. Nothing in the rain gauge, and it was dark at the time.
Right.
Lee up within the back swamp. He had 36 degrees, 99% humidity, southeasterly winds at about 3 miles per hour. No rain. and I loved his barometric pressure, 30/6, 30.06 inches of mercury. I like 30/6. I love them.
I know, I heard that.
Joe in
30/6.
the borough had 39 degrees, 99% humidity, southwesterly winds at about 2 miles an hour, no rain,
Right.
and 30.09 inches of rain. And Dale and Carroll up in River Bend, up the river around the bend, 38 degrees, 99% humidity, winds right to the northeast at about 1 mile per hour, no rain. Ward out there at Cedar Point, 38 degrees, 95% humidity, winds out of the east. They were kind of light, he said, and 30.33 inches of rain of mercury, and it was climbing. In the borough, another one in the borough, Brian, 38 degrees, 86% humidity, no wind. It was calm at the time, nothing in the rain gauge, 30.02 inches mercury. And Ken out there in Oslo Bay, Ken's back in the area,
Hey,
thank
Ken.
goodness, 39 degrees, 89% humidity, calm, nothing in the rain gauge. And Lee here, our Lady Blue.
Me.
In the Woodlands, it was 37 degrees, 97% humidity, calm, and nothing in her rain gauge either, and 30.27 inches of mercury, and steady here in the country club at the studio. Oh my, we've had an increase. It was 37 degrees. It's now at 40 degrees and climbing. Good.
Yes.
99% humidity remains there. No wind, and it's still no wind. We had 3 mile per hour peak winds, which is not like yesterday. And we had, I think, 18 miles per hour. No rain, and 30.12 inches of mercury is climbed already to 30.17 inches of mercury. We should start to get a little bit better seasonable weather just in time for March winds.
Right. I got one more opinion that I had to share with you about the Nancy Guthrie. One person said that Miss Guthrie actually had a senior moment and walked away into oblivion, and that the Russians are capitalizing on her disappearance by staging a fake ransom. That is what we have become.
People get some
crazy.
Y'all need to buy stock in Reynolds aluminum foil.
No,
I can tell you.
Buy some stock in crazy because. Pew.
All right, here's a interesting one that I looked at last night. This ought to get y'all talking and thinking. The immunization records for a student from a Craven County school turned up among the documents in recently released Jeffrey Epstein files. What? Redacted, of course, it was, but it was there from the Havelock Middle School, dated October 2002. No one seems to have an explanation of the record and how it ended up in that file. The name of the student and the results of the test for polio, measles, pertussin, and a bunch of other diseases were all blacked out.
Yeah, why Havelock Middle School?
Yeah,
what
we all know
world?
that our first president, George Washington, spent a lot of time on horseback, traveling around the eastern part of the United States. The eastern part, by the way, was the only part of the area known as colonial America that was actually in the United States and was under the control of the president at the time. As many who were from this area know, there's a live oak tree on the southern side of Hempstead with a historical marker noting that Washington had spent the night there at that same location during his travels. Wondering when records of his travels will turn up in Epstein's files. Okay, for that matter, if there are any pictures of me on a boat passing near his Caribbean love nest, one never knows, because I've been down to that neck of the woods too.
Well, let me tell you, with some of the names that were released just the other day that are unredacted, if I was a Democrat, I'd just be quiet. Be quiet. That's Joy on the phone.
Craven County Schools released a statement after all of that stuff. And at this time, Craven County Schools is unable to comment on the authenticity of the reference document or speculate on how it may have appeared within the federally released materials. Okay, that's not a statement. That's just a duh. We don't have a clue what's going on.
Before we go to
either.
Joy, don't let me forget to make an announcement for Senator Lazara, please.
Joy to the world. Joy to Onslow County. What's up?
Well, it's a crazy times, all I got to say.
Tell me about it.
You know it.
Well, first, just two things real quick. Number one, the county manager deal, the 7 members that are on the commissioners are have experience and are wise, and they wouldn't have just gone in there for whatever reason and whatever transpired. They just stood on a quick whatever reaction. something led up to this, and apparently they had been tracking whatever was happening that came to this conclusion. Personally, I don't know how their contracts work, but maybe they need to change it to a year-to-year contract where after 1 year you're evaluated. And then if you are not, change the contract somehow where if you've not fulfilled your whatever, give them an evaluation, blah, 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 blah.
Could be already.
Yeah,
That's a possibility.
those would be great. And even in private enterprise, we did that. Even with
Yes.
a contract, is the way our contract, you were in the contract, there was a contracted increase in salary at the end of the year, right? At the end of each year. That's the way it worked. However, also included in that was an evaluation of your performance. Based upon your performance,
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
you can receive up to this amount of increase in your salary.
Mm-hmm.
Words to
So
that
when I was
effect.
at the
The
policy
legalese.
had year to year, they changed it at one point where every year we have a evaluation, and some people will put on probationary period, some people will put on whatever, and some will just let go. You have to have this documentation. That's just my thoughts. I don't think our county commissioners are stupid. I mean, some
They're
people
not.
might think so, but I think they're wise and they have experience and they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
And there's some things that we aren't told. I mean, that's how it is.
and unless you've tried to negotiate contracts, especially if you're trying to negotiate a contract with somebody like this, I mean, there are a lot of people looking for jobs in this country, county manager types. But you know what? You got to find one that's going to fit
I'll do it.
us. There are only two
Exactly.
places in North Carolina with county that have a county like this.
I'll do it for a lot less.
Yeah, but what are we going to get? That's
Yeah.
whether you or I do it. I mean, I'll do it for $100,000 in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
The
Correct.
problem
No, I want
is
about 180.
the problem is what is it going to get us? Nothing.
Nothing.
Do I want that?
Nothing.
Do I want that? I'm not even sure
Stress.
that I'd be willing to work for $100,000 at that kind of a schedule. To be honest with you, I mean, I've worked long hours for that kind of money, very long
Correct.
hours,
Yes.
and with no appreciation.
Right.
But every one of it did not matter what you had.
Mhm.
There was you can be let go for cause.
Exactly.
And it's in North Carolina. If you're not under contract, I could fire you because I do not like the color shoes that you're wearing. I don't like the way you're
Exactly.
doing your hair.
Well,
Right.
not only that, but you bring up a good point. It comes down to having to pay you for the remainder of your contract in order to avoid the county being sued or something worse happening, then so be it. You
I
can't
know.
control what a person does. You try, but
No.
you can't.
Not at all. They're going to do it no matter what. I mean, he had a sort of a track record before he even became. Well,
And to be honest with you, there are not. I didn't deal with them, but I covered those events
Right.
where any number of county managers, city managers were notorious. Would move if they got through their contract period, they were lucky.
Right.
right.
Almost most of them do not leave of their own accord in situations where they're not really good people. They get fired.
Right.
So there are a whole lot of fired people out there. There are more fired people than there are people with credentials with no, because they just did not get along with the city council, the
Right.
county commissioners.
Your
Whoever.
personality conflict.
You don't go in there working for one person. You come to work for me. When I was hiring people, you work for me. You didn't work for the general manager. You worked for me.
Exactly.
That's right.
I was one.
Exactly.
I was the only person you had to please.
Mhm.
Period. Bottom line.
Mhm.
Mhm.
These people have got to please 4 of those 7 county commissioners. It's as
Exactly.
simple as that. And in this case, he didn't
Well,
please all 7 of them.
Joey brought up a point that he had history before he came here, and
Most
I
do.
remember, most do. I remember when he was hired to be the county manager back several years ago. When I read, I was like, "What? Who? I thought that blah blah." I called and personally spoke to some of the commissioners, not all of them, just a few, and they said, "Lee," he said, "we discuss his firing in 2016 in Virginia. What led up to it? There's circumstances surrounding it.
Mhm.
And we felt like that, we came to an agreement. We understood, so to say. We were like, okay, you have explained this. We accept your explanation. And I'm sure they did some other checking into it. So that was not an issue for them to hire him.
No, he was transparent. I'm sure. I'm saying, he was up front and shared whatever, and I'm sure they did, like you said, some in-depth evaluations and studies prior to. That's basically all I got to say about that one. Now I've got another one I got to say something about the Augusta case.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
First of all, I cannot see Sheriff Chris Thomas going to a basketball game with a case like that going on in Onslow County. When that sheriff in Arizona came on TV, the first moment I saw him, I said, there's a problem with him. I don't know what it was, but I did not get a good feeling. Now, I don't know if it's a small area, small town, whatever. Also, people with families are always the first ones that are investigated. I mean, we all know that. If someone's killed at my home, they're going to think I killed my husband. I mean, that's just how it is.
Here's the way, and I've tried to explain this. Why are you taking fingerprints of the family members? Why are you doing that? It's not to find them guilty that they did. It is a process of elimination. Because we're going to find your fingerprints in the house. If you're a family member, but we're going to eliminate all of those prints right up front. But we got to have your prints to be able to do that. We'd like to do your DNA to do it for the same reason. But we would eliminate you. It's a process of elimination. Once we've eliminated all of the family members and all the workers that come in and out of the place, then anybody else's fingerprints that we cannot identify as having a legitimate reason for being there, they're fair game. So it's not that we're investigating you; we're eliminating you.
No, exactly, and that's always been that way. I mean, in most instances like this, you always go with the family first, which is understandable. But
usually the spouse, but
it usually is. But I don't know. I think he's got a little man syndrome, short syndrome, or something. And there's just something he's just not. He is an elected official. I hope people of that town realize that. I think he has gone a little bit too far with what he's doing, but that's here. That I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Once the FBI stepped in, things started happening. And I'm sure there's things that they're not telling us, which is understandable, which it should be.
I hope they don't tell us.
Well,
right.
No, really. And also, I didn't even realize this till last night when a forensic specialist, she mentioned when he had that flashlight in his mouth, the saliva, anytime you have anything in your mouth, you're going to have that saliva that's going to normally drip somewhere.
You take it out of your mouth, right.
Somewhere. So there's DNA there also. But, I mean, I don't know how long something like that would last, if it would stay there. There's just so many scenarios, but sadly, it's almost like, to me, it's almost like somebody's playing games with all of this. The perpetrator or perpetrators or whomever, it's almost like, I mean, they're talking about 16 gloves now, all this kind of stuff. I mean, well, hello, if you didn't lock the house up and you didn't... look where they found the gloves. I mean, it could be any gloves along the side of the road or wherever. I mean, it's almost like a cat and mouse game, which is really sad that the family has to go through this. I feel like I think they have a suspect personally, but I think they're watching the suspect just to see how far they're going to go to see whoever else is involved with the situation. But my first thought, honestly, was the son-in-law. That was just my first thoughts when it first came out. I don't know why. I had not heard anything about anything, but as soon as they said that, for some reason, he was my first thought in my head. I hope and pray that they do find it, and I feel like they will solve this case. Probably within the next week or two, I would think. That's just my personal opinion. I hate what the family's having to go through.
Mm-hmm.
But when the people vote for sheriff next time, I think they need to take a look at what they're voting for.
Yeah, and he may be the greatest sheriff in the world as far as handling things on that at that end. You know that county. You know how big that county. How big is Onslow County? How many people do we have in Onslow County?
Sure, at 30.
Yeah, they got 1.08 million people in Pima County or Pima County.
Pima. I did find out it's Pima.
Arizona. And but the center, the biggest city there, of course, is Tucson.
Right.
So Tucson's got a bunch of people in it as well.
Mhm.
Right.
So that's part of Pima County.
Right.
It's a very large area. And I think there are only, how many counties are there? There's only 15 counties in that state. We got 100 here, so each county is going to be larger
Right.
than
And
what we got here.
probably maybe they didn't have the expertise in some of the people that they. I mean, I don't know. There's so many scenarios,
Yep.
but I think from the beginning that the investigation was not, as I see it, was not conducted in a way that it should have been. And I agree, the house should never have been opened back up at all for anything until after the.
Not with an ongoing abduction.
Well,
Yes, sir.
If there'd been a murder, they found a body there and all that, they could clear the house in a day or two, whatever. I understand that. But for something like this, where it's an ongoing missing person, not just a missing person, an abduction.
Well, the pool guy came
Exactly.
this weekend and cleaned the pool.
Mm.
And then yesterday, the gardener came to water the plants, etc. Which, by this point in time, what does it really matter? Because the whole thing's been so
But there were people out
mishandled.
there
But
searching. Yeah, there were people that were out there searching without gloves and things on their feet, and they were hitting the bushes and hitting this and hitting that and walking on the leaves. I mean, there was a lot of things that just should never have happened. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there, and I don't know
No.
what was going through their minds on their searches and stuff like that. My God, I've been something as simple as wrecks. Go there to help the highway patrol process them,
Yeah.
and I would get irritated about the evidence that was messed with there.
this may be the biggest case the sheriff has ever
Oh, I'm
worked.
sure it. I
He
hope
didn't know
so.
what to do.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't mean to put him down
Right.
per se, but I don't know. It's almost as if he was sort of kind of in shock, not shock. I mean, sort of like in an uncertain.
He was out of his
Yeah.
league. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
That's
All right.
exactly what I was. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly what I was trying to say. I don't want to put him. I'm not putting him down as a.
No, I can't either. All right, Joy. Thank you.
Thanks,
you,
y'all.
Joy.
Y'all
You
have a
take
good
care. You
weekend.
too. Bye.
Don't let me forget.
And
We have Charlie on the line.
Charlie, you're back.
Yeah, so I was clicking around YouTube and I was thinking about Savannah Guthrie. Were you guys just talking about her?
We did earlier. Yeah.
Yes.
So, what amazes me in today's technology, with all these Ring cameras, with all this advanced technology with, stores that have cameras outside, you would think that there would be like a store within a mile radius where they would go back and get videotape. They would go back to like a hardware store. They would knock on every door. They would get Ring camera type information. It's kind of bizarre that they don't have that.
Well, here's the situation with that particular development. All right, where she lived, the houses were not isolated, but they were built on tracks where you didn't have access to like the roads leading up there. You had to get off the road to get up to the driveway. You had trees around it. They were heavily secluded by their own desires, of course. They didn't want to be in their neighbor's backyard, not LA, downtown LA. You know how that is. You step out your back door and you step looking into somebody's window. This is lot, her property was bigger than that. It's not a homestead, but it's bigger than that, as were all the other properties. I looked at the aerial footage.
Yes.
And it's not isolated, but it is seclusive.
Mhm.
It's just not there.
Agreed.
Ring doorbell cameras, they couldn't see what went by on the road from the front door on the Ring doorbell cameras, just what came up to their property. And they got that video. And they got it. And it was, she did not have a subscription, maintain a subscription, but they did manage to get it from Google because it was still on file with Google. I agree with it. And I don't think there were they didn't live right out of town that they had like cameras and stuff. I don't know how close they were to even a 7-Eleven store.
They said there was cameras, but though from what it's being said was the cameras weren't working, the traffic cameras.
Yeah, well, I don't know about traffic cameras.
They say they weren't working.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
So you guys got a lot going on. So can I give you my point?
Yeah,
yes, go ahead. We're waiting.
You guys got phones ringing left and right.
Yes, we do.
I'm just thinking this in today's technology, it just would seem like within like a 4 or 5, 6 mile radius that they could collect hundreds of surveillance. They could break it down. I heard something earlier that it wasn't a kidnapping; it was just like a break-in.
Oh, that's bull. Yeah, that was a bunch of baloney. Nobody even said that except some speculative podcaster or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Here's what I will say, and I think, it's funny. There's so many posts that Savannah Guthrie's mom, what was her name? Do you guys know her name?
Nancy.
Yeah, very, 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 very anti-Trump. I'm not going to say anything negative. I know Charlie, don't go there.
That's more garbage.
Horrible things. And, the horrible thing to say about Trump is I want a cop on every street corner. And a lot of these Democrats, they're basically saying defund the police. They're out of control. So maybe if we had more cops around, maybe her mother would be safe. And I know that Savannah was very anti-Trump. And I know that Trump came out and basically said, let's find your mother. We all know that there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals in the U.S. in the last 50, 20 days that have been abducted, that have been, they're missing. Parents or their kids are missing. But we're putting emphasis on this one woman. We don't want any woman or any man or any child, to experience this. But it's kind of odd to me that we're putting so much emphasis.
It's news.
On
it's
this
clickbait.
Human
being. It's clickbait. But I mean, this is a hot case.
Right.
You have to presume that somebody like this, it has obviously been abducted. All the evidence points, virtually all of the evidence points in that direction that she was taken against her will from that location by a person or persons unknown. That is the presumption at this time. Nobody has come up with anything any differently. Time is always of the essence, and the time is now 2+ weeks, and it's looking less good for her. But in the hours after an abduction, those are extremely important hours, and you're going to get a lot of attention, and you should get a lot of attention. Then, as the time goes by, it's not the lead story every night now. It might be on NBC, but it's not the lead story everywhere. Okay, already it's faded,
starting to fade,
and by the 1st of March, it's going to fade even more.
We'll go into something else.
The next thing we're going to hear is that they have tracked somebody down, and they've got somebody, or they have found her, one way or the other. That's what will be the next things that to occur.
I agree with what you're saying, but I'm just going to leave it this.
Yeah.
If this was Donald Trump, if this was Donald Trump's granddaughter, if this is one of Donald Trump's kids, the mainstream media would not care. And if it turns out that horrific things happen to them, it would just be brushed off. They would not care. So I'm going to leave it at that. You can take that for what it's worth, but that's the reality. They wouldn't care. Her mother was very anti-Trump. She was actually pro-Antifa. If you saw some of her X or Twitter type responses, Savannah,
I haven't looked at any of that. None of that matters to me.
I did look into it.
Okay. Yeah, but none of that matters to me.
Well, it matters to me because we want safety in the United States of America. And you've got these people that are saying basically, let's let hundreds of thousands or millions of illegal aliens into our country. Let's give them the same rights that we're all entitled to. No, you vet them because we have monsters that are coming in from mental institutions. They're being released from prisons, and they're in this country.
That should be standalone issues without involving Guthrie. Whether they are involved with the Guthrie, you cannot make that assumption.
All right. You
Okay.
guys have a good day.
Thank you.
Before we go any
Yes,
further,
you're up next.
I have got to make this announcement before I forget. Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is your opportunity to have coffee with our North Carolina State Senator Michael Lazara.
Is he buying?
He obviously, yes.
I want hot chocolate, Michael. I don't drink coffee.
All right. It's going to be held at the Rotary Conference Center, which is on New Bridge Street, catty corner across the street from the post office, right across the street from City Hall on New Bridge Street. Plenty of parking.
Mhm.
But here's your chance to go in there and talk about veteran issues, military family issues, the future of commercial fishing,
Yep.
transportation and infrastructure, and health and human services. You've got an opportunity to hear directly from the senator and an opportunity to ask questions. So for those of you that are so into what an elected official says or does, this is your opportunity.
Do yourself a favor. Don't ask him anything
Right.
about the departure of the
He
county
has
manager.
no
It's
control over
got
that.
nothing to do with him,
Right.
okay? Other than he's a voter for the county commissioners here. Now, let's go back to, you want to talk about fishing? Okay, since that's coming up, I'll give you something. The North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality's Division of Marine Fisheries, in other words, the Marine Fisheries Cops, will open a 2-week,
2 weeks.
for 2 weeks, 2 long weeks that go by quickly, spring recreational Gulf flounder season in ocean waters off the central and southeastern parts of coastal North Carolina. The dates, put this down. If you like to go fishing for flounders, you can do it in the
Right.
ocean. March 9 through 22. 9 through 22 March.
Wow.
Location, ocean waters only. From the north end of Portsmouth Island, that's on the south side of Ocracoke Inlet, by the way,
Right.
all the way down to the South Carolina line.
Ooh.
hmm How you going to get them? Yeah, I can't. I can't go get them.
Wait, are there restrictions on the size? Did they
I'll
lift
get there in a
those?
minute. You can only use recreational hook and line.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
Why?
I spear
That's
them.
the fun of it.
I dive.
Oh,
I go underwater, slip down there where they are, pick them out. I don't pick any small
I've done
ones
the
out that way.
gigging.
Well, not the gigging. I just go down there and say, "Hey, how you doing? Let me measure you because you look about the right size." Stick them.
Mhm.
1 fish per person per day. In other words,
What?
make it a 3-pounder or more. Or you're not going to have enough for your family.
One per day.
Yeah, maybe a
It's not
5-pounder.
worth it to me. Mm-mm.
1 fish per person per day. Get a
No.
boatload of. Well, see, I've got my wife's fishing license with me because when we go,
Come
I've
to
got hers
think
with me.
about it. Take 3 or 4 people
And if
with
she
you.
doesn't want to go, I just go buy one and blow up rubber dolls. They won't know the difference.
Take 3 or 4
That
people
way I
with
could get
you,
2
and
fish.
everybody can catch a flounder. Then it's worth it.
Yeah, but they're going to want to keep their flounders, aren't they? But each person's got to have a license.
Not
1
necessarily.
fish per person per day. Now, minimum length, 15-inch total length. That's not the fork length. If y'all don't know what that is, look in the books. You'll figure it out. Minimum of 15 inches total length. All right. That's what you got to do. There are 3 flounder species primarily in North Carolina waters: southern, summer, and Gulf. Historically, North Carolina has managed all 3 species as one in the recreational flounder fishery. I know that at times of the year we used to get summer flounders, what we called summer flounders, and the southern flounders. We'd get them both up
Right.
at Cape Lookout at the same time. The latest stock assessment indicates that southern flounder is overfished, and overfishing is occurring. Overfished means the population is too small, and overfishing means the removal rate is too high.
What?
For this reason, the state has placed strict regulations on flounder to limit southern flounder catch. You can't take southern flounder. You better be able to identify the 3 species.
What?
This is only for Gulf flounders. Gulf flounders along the Atlantic coast. Gulf flounder become more abundant as you move southward.
How do you distinguish the difference?
If you will just Google, you'll find the 3 pictures out there.
Oh my god!
And you need to go ahead and make flounder identification. The Gulf flounder has the same familiar flat and rounded body as an olive brown color of other flounders that can change shade depending on the color of the bottom. It has 3 prominent dark spots arranged in a triangle on its eyed side. In other words, the top side is parts you see when you're trying to stick them. One spot is above and one is below the lateral line, while the third is in the middle of the line towards the tail, forming a triangle. The spots may become obscure in larger fish. You can go to the Marine Fisheries Flounder Identification webpage. The Flounder Identification webpage, and look it up. So all you folks who like to fish for flounder, and there are a bunch of you out there, they're going to open it up 2 weeks.
I'm going to be a little
For
negative
2
here.
weeks.
If I got to go
weeks.
through all that to catch a flounder, I'd just rather go get.
I'd rather eat trout. I've speared enough flounder and eaten enough flounder. I don't really care.
Yeah,
That's not a big deal to me anymore.
You know, I mean, I understand we have to have rules and regulations, all that kind of stuff.
We do.
But for me, it has taken so much out of the joy of fishing.
Well,
recreational.
What they say. Now, I'm not saying this is what's happening, but what they think, the biologists that work for the state,
my
the people in they're supposedly in the know. They went to school. They got the tickets to say that we're smart, and they say that if we don't maintain the population that we have, if we don't run some controls on it, we're going to continue to overfish, and we're going to end up nothing but a bunch of small fish, and then they're going to become pretty much extinct. We're going to have fewer and fewer and fewer of them. So they're trying to preserve the future of fishing, because we have overfished for flounders and for other species too. Look what we did for red drum. We put a slot limit in several years ago, many years ago now, a slot limit. You couldn't keep a fish below 18 inches.
Right.
You couldn't keep a fish over 27 inches. That was what they called a slot limit. You had to
have a book.
Yeah, you do. But for those who fish for red drum, that's what they want.
Right.
Okay. You don't want to take the little ones. You don't want to take the oversized ones, because
that, yes.
the big daddies on the big size of those that are over
not
20.
as tasty.
No, it's because they can make a lot more little babies.
Well.
So you don't want to take those.
What about the girl fishes? Why would you take them? Because they're making babies.
Look it up.
Oh my gosh, that is just so sexist. Okay.
Anyway, that's the mentality. That's the words from the experts. I cannot dispute what they're saying. I'd used to dispute what they would say about blackfish, black sea bass out there. Because, I mean, I go out there and they say, we don't have any black sea bass. Well, they checked the wrong reef or something, because I dive down and go down and I look at them and face to face. Here we are. There you are.
Do you grab them with your hands and bring them on up?
No, you can't grab them, but you can touch them fast. Then they're gone. I got pictures of one of them with my cousin. I got to find that one of these days. We were diving off of Quipos Rock out of off of Emerald Isle and down there. And they had the little silver metal ring around his mask. And there's a little tiny black sea bass up there. He was just tapping at that ring. It looked like a lure or something he was going to eat, so he was trying to bite it. That little tiny sucker. I had that picture somewhere. God, that'd be great.
That would be a good picture to see. We could put that on there. And is Timmy. Hello, Tim.
Oh, my Lord of mercy. Timmy, bail me out. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Man, you need it, man.
1033, 1033.
You got yeah. And just Lee, it just goes to show you what Rayford has just explained to you. Talk about female fishing is the story I used to have when I told you that ribs were cheaper than steak. Remember that story?
Right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Male dominated work.
Did I agree with it?
Well, I know you didn't agree with it. I can see Joey right now just jumping up and down. He had to bring that up. He had to bring that up. But no, man. I'd love to show you.
It's been,
But
it's,
man, it's been, but I had to throw that in on you. Because you know I love picking on you.
yes, you do. It's fun.
I can't get nothing over on Raper, but I love picking.
What? What?
I'm out here trying to bail you out, man.
Okay, I do appreciate that. You know,
I
divert
want to know.
divert the attention as best you can.
All right.
Got it. Swinging around. Called, what was the movie? Wag the Dog?
There's
Wag
it.
the dog.
Yeah, that's it. Right there. Wag
Or
the
like
dog.
we used to say, you know, you lie about it and I'll swear to it.
There's a lot of that going on in the world.
Oh, man, I was on my way to Randleman Road below Greensboro, and I got the call. And hey, they want you to come back tomorrow. I said, well, I'm over halfway there. I'm supposed to come today. Well, they hadn't got the stickers on it yet. I said, well, I'm sorry, but we're going to charge you for this. Well, okay. So
Okay.
now I'm on my way back from Raleigh. Got to turn around and get back to Farmville.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
We're having a fun day. Fun day.
Well, at least you don't have to work, just drive, right?
Just ride and glide.
Ride the countryside.
Yeah. I'm just glad the phone's finally trying to live. I know it's been rough.
Yeah, I bet it was. It was a little bit here. We didn't have too much at the house, but anyway.
It's rough on 40.
I bet it
You got
is.
all these cell phone drivers. You have to watch them out close.
Stay off the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
Well, you better stay on it. Don't
Yeah, stay on it. It's you have to cross it, right?
Oh, I
That was horrible.
I don't believe what could have happened on there because used to, and Rayford, you know all about this. I mean, you've seen it. Used to, they'd have a sign if the wind got a certain knob or a certain mile per hour, they closed the bridge because trucks could just the wind frost went across there could flip the hit, especially an engine truck over.
You got that right.
And yeah, they would have shut it. I would be up in Newcastle, Delaware, and I'd have to call ahead because that's what road you would come out of there and get on 13, and that's what you come out on. And if you didn't, you'd have to come down that road anyway and get on Highway 50 and go into DC and then go all the way around and come back into Norfolk, Chesapeake. And that was a bad ride.
Well, I don't have to worry about it. I ain't going there unless Biden calls me for some advice. I'll go up there then.
Oh boy.
Well, if he does that, my friend, I'm gonna drive.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we could both be in hot water on the way and when we get there.
I guarantee you. But all right, y'all behave.
All right.
Enjoy yourself.
You
See
too,
ya.
Tim.
Bye.
I want to ask you
Tell me a
something.
mess. Go ahead.
How does outdoor lighting pollute the environment?
Outdoor lighting
Yes.
is.
Go ahead with it.
What they call light pollution. If it's in an area that you can't even see the stars when you go outside, even on a clear night, because there is so much light there. Astronomers, people that like to look at the stars and whatever,
Right.
they have to go find some place. And there's more and more and more light pollution. Now, some of the other impacts of light pollution, there are critters out there that kind of like to go to sleep at nighttime, that live in the woods or live
That's
out.
their problem.
Yes, it is a problem.
Just put a tent up for them.
But they get, sometimes they feed.
Right.
Deer will go out on a full moon because it's light,
Right.
and they like to feed on a full moon, and
Yes.
therefore they will sleep in the early morning hours instead of getting up early morning, and
Mhm.
that's when we'd go hunting for them. But you don't do that on a full moon because they've been out there feeding all night. Now they're going to go rest.
Well, I bring it up because In Pima, Arizona, where all this has been occurring with the Nancy Guthrie case,
Yeah.
they have an outdoor lighting code because,
Yeah.
like, I was watching a
They
podcaster.
don't want a bunch of lights around your house.
I was watching a podcaster that was out in front of her house. He turned the screen, the camera off to his podcast.
Mhm.
It was pitch black dark. You couldn't see anything in front of you. But they said the outdoor lighting code in Pima County, Arizona is designed to minimize light pollution and
Mhm.
protect access to the dark night sky. And it's a code. And if you're in violation of that code, you can be fined for it. It's a class 2 misdemeanor fine.
Well, haven't you
but-
lived in an area where maybe, or have you been in areas like, you go to a hotel somewhere, all the lights is coming in from outside. You have to get darkening shades. And,
Nothing keeps me awake.
well, then you're special.
I could fall asleep right here if they got quiet long enough. I could. Now, I understand what you're saying, but it is so dark there. Me personally, I
That's
wouldn't
what
like
a
that.
lot of people like.
True.
I would
true.
hate to go to if I was one of those persons that love to go camping, I would hate to go to a campground and they got nothing but lights all over the place.
But do you imagine that maybe a lot of those people living in the area now are worried about keeping their house so dark at night?
Don't worry about that. Put up motion detector lights. When
Yeah.
somebody gets close, the lights
What
go
that
on.
code is?
Well, they would just have to go ahead and do something about that.
Yeah, I just thought it was extreme. I know in October 2025 they were putting out messages to the residents that they were having public opinion meetings and stuff for people to come in about the code itself, if whatever changes they wanted. I don't know what came out of that, but I couldn't. It was a 30-day public comment period.
Okay, I've got there. You see this Quora, whatever it's called.
Yes, Quora. I think
thing.
it's yeah.
The stuff pops up, and I have been one to start responding to a lot of the questions that are posed.
Goodness.
How do gun owners? This is something for y'all to think about for tomorrow. Okay, how do gun owners? People ask weird questions. How do gun owners prove they're responsible and not a danger to their community despite public fears about gun violence? There are all sorts of anti-gun things that are posted, right?
Right.
I'm going to repeat that for you. How do gun owners prove they are responsible and not a danger to their community despite public fears about gun violence? You want to hear what I responded to? How I said?
Yes, please.
How do the parents of 16-year-old newly licensed drivers prove their kid is a responsible driver and not a danger to their community? Despite my fear, these drivers armed with cell phones and passenger seats filled with teenage distractions while operating a vehicle of mass destruction, the same type of weapons that are involved in the deaths of about 40,000 Americans every year.
I would think you pretty much covered it all.
I got a lot of responses to mine.
Did you really?
Lots of thumbs up.
Oh, very good. Well, you bring up a very valid point.
This is a stupid question.
Right.
The way it was put, you're making an assumption. Why do gun owners how do they prove they're responsible and not a danger to their community? You got a car? Prove to me you're not a danger to our community.
Exactly.
40,000 people were killed by people like you.
Any calming or peaceful words you would like to end the morning with to our
today's
upset residents?
No, folks, and we're not here to debate you.
Right.
It's just that you think before you.
Yes.
And I remember, and I heard somebody else using it last night on TV, and I said, that's what I say all the time. Actions
speak louder than words.
Actions speak louder than words, but what you say and what you do can have consequences.
Right.
Your actions
right.
can have consequences. What you say, how you say it, and everything else. Okay, it's one of those things. And before you get out there, and don't, on our page anyway, you can do it on your page if you want to. Don't sit out there and say, whoever is so and so and so and so is crooked. He or she is crooked.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
You don't know. Just
Um,
because you don't
what's
like
your
somebody.
evidence?
Right.
Show me some evidence. Otherwise, you may have to show that in court one day when you get up there and
Could be.
yeah.
I just think everybody needs to take a breath.
Put up or shut up, y'all. If you've got the goods
Take a
on somebody
breath.
to know that they're crooked, then it's your responsibility to take it to the man.
Everybody just needs to calm down, take a
Okay.
breath. Take a breath.
Meanwhile, we will see you tomorrow, and we
Yes.
will have Dr. Rose. And again,
Well-
I looked and saw more measles stuff happening.
Yes,
And,
measles.
North Carolina's had a number of
measles.
cases, we're not near even the medium part. We're on the low end of them,
Right.
as most of the
Right.
most of the states are. There are some states in the higher end out there with measles cases. So we will see you tomorrow morning. We'll discuss that, and we have
No, we do not.
We do not have?
We did have a guest coming in tomorrow, but he has had to reschedule due to a family situation.
Okay.
So we still may, but I'll let you know.
All right, let's get somebody. And I still
Yes.
want our insurance commissioner. I have questions.
I need to call him.
Call him. Tell him I want him on the air. We need him right now. We'll see you in the morning, y'all. Be safe. And we are live and local. I'm Rayford. You're Lee, and we'll see you in the morning. And
That's right.
Chris.
Chris will be back tomorrow, hopefully.
Unless he breaks another one of his wife's arms.
As long as he doesn't bust her bubble, we'll be fine. We're putting her in bubble.
Yes, we are. We'll see you in the morning. Be safe. Bye.